these days, of course, there's, because of the shelter in place and everyone, maybe they're unemployed or there's no work or everything is kind of upside down. There's a lot of uncertainty, so there's maybe questions about, there's a lot of underlying fear that we don't know what's going to happen. But
so fear has a lot to do with the not knowing, right? And
not knowing, yeah.
and we don't like that. It feels uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to know what the future will be like.
Yeah. Or what the present, not what the present, but maybe I was kind of remembering a story when I was little, and there was a kid I used to play with, and his name was Dogan, and either he would come up to our house to play in the evening or I would go down to his house, but we would never want to walk home at night because you'd have to walk home in the dark. So one time I was down at the big house, which was the Zen Center, and had to come home late at night. So I was walking, and then, of course, all the shadows and the darkness, you can't see anything. So my mind started to think of all these things that are behind the shadows, and I got scared. So I started running. And the more I ran, then I heard footsteps next to me, and I ran faster and faster. The footsteps ran faster, faster, all the way halfway to the house. Then I saw a deer run off into the field. So I don't know what.
So you were imagining something that's not there.
Yeah.
That's what, what we do. Of course, there's many kinds of fears, but basically it's something we imagine in our heads.
Yeah.
So what one could do, what could you do in that situation?
Well, I mean, in that situation, I stopped. I actually stopped. Yes. And then I realized that it was just me running. And it was just a deer. So
you come back to the actuality of what you're doing, right? Coming back to where you are, and notice is basically just a thought.
Yeah.
Not just, of course, it feels very real. That's why it's difficult to deal with, and we do not like it. But again, it's like you come back to the reality, knowing that the thought of fear is not real.
Yeah, so I mean,
at that very moment.
Yeah.
And then you proceed like moment by moment.
Yeah, so it is, I mean, through our practice of Zazen, of coming back to feeling actually grounded in where you are, you know that all thoughts that you have are fabrications of just the mind that comes up. So of course it's not trying to suppress a thought or suppress fear when it comes up, but you want to when a thought comes up of fear, there's a pivot point in which when you face it, or I don't know, maybe lean into it, means that you're opening yourself up to it, then it's seen as impartial, or all our thoughts are seen as like equal, that we don't have any like or dislike to that. But
so it's the sitting practice, you experience so many things, like a thought that comes and goes, and if you do that consistently, you recognize it's just something that it passes. So the fear is it's not you don't have it, but you know it's something that passes, and thereby you are not so disturbed or pulled by it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would say that. But once you realize, once you kind of look or lean into that fear, that's the turning point in which there's a wisdom that comes up. And when that wisdom comes up, when you're grounded in the reality just as it is, not your thought, then actually it vanishes. You know, not to say that you're trying to, we're not trying to push it away, you know, but when it comes up, you actually see it, and then you can actually kind of feel it too, but then you also let it go. So therefore, you know, it's not the ego that, you know, when I was running, when I was running up the road, the more thoughts you have, the more tighter it gets and the faster you run. You know, so it's a thought that makes you very unstable.
So you're talking about you know, that pivot where what did you say?
Yeah.
No, so the point is that we often say you face the fear, but it's not this dramatic thing like
not,
that.
Not your,
you try not to be afraid, but it's a very subtle thing that you actually experience in the sitting practice, and it's that you get intimate with or get familiar with, and then the fear, you know, on its own has less
grip
on you.
grip on you.
Grip,
Yeah.